will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about.
Yes, indeed. So much of things we need to see about, excuse me, here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And we must not stop working towards improving the many things in our communities, in our homes, and in the country generally. Because there are those who are bent, hell-bent, on seeing Grenada on its knees. But we, the people, must work diligently, assiduously, to make sure that their plans do not come true. I want to welcome you wherever you are. Maybe you're out there in the diaspora. Maybe you're here in Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. And I want to encourage those who are on Facebook viewing me, on YouTube doing the same thing. Please share the live. I want to start off today by featuring two things. Two things from the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. But I want to say this. I understand fully well the strategies of the NNP. What they are seeking to do is to cause you to believe that my good friend, the Honorable Andy Williams, is the person doing everything within government. But you must understand Andy's role. I remember vividly our beloved Prime Minister, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and mind you, when we say those things, there are certain people on the other side who will get very angry. But we must say it. Our beloved Prime Minister, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, said, if the government fails, Andy fails. But if the government succeeds, Andy did his work. And I remember him using that, using words to that effect, because Andy is in a ministry that will always showcase the government at work, because he is in the ministry of implementation, making sure the work is done. He is in the ministry of mobilization, mobilizing the troops, mobilizing the people to get the work done. So the NNP, they're out there trying to give you that idea, put that idea in your head that the team, the others, are not doing as he is doing. But here it is. The reason why he's able to be showcased like this is because the others are actually doing the work. They're doing the work with the team and with him and the team, because he's just implementing. They're getting the work done. So the NNP's strategy is to go on radio, go on TV, and give you the impression, well, they would hypocritically praise Andy, right? Openly, over and over again, they will do that. That's how they do it. It's a good strategy, though. Very good strategy. Because there are some people who will get vexed. Oh boy, only Andy. Okay. But that's an NNP strategy. The strategy of the NNP is to paint Andy as the person doing everything. But that's just one seat. That's just one seat. And then in the same vein, they would attack the prime minister. They would say all manner of things about him, right? Because they know he is the most popular person in the team, right? You have to understand the strategy of the NNP. So they're out there doing that intentionally. I was having a conversation with Andy this morning because he's my really good boy, the Honorable Andy Williams, and I was saying to him, brother, you know what they're about. And he said, yes, I know. He's fully aware of the NNP strategy. They don't like the NDC. No, the NNP don't like the NDC. They don't like Andy or the team. They want to see the NDC in opposition. They want to see NDC losing the election. Don't believe that they like him or they like the team. No. Don't confuse yourself. Don't confuse yourself. They want to see NDC out. So their strategies are always changing. And it is a very good strategy to make people believe that Andy is the only person doing X and only the person doing Y. It's a very good strategy. And there are people going to fall for that because all they hear is Andy and Andy and Andy and Andy. But the other ministers are actually doing equally the same. But because his ministry is about implementation and mobilization, in other words, anybody who is placed in that ministry will be showcased more than the others, because the ministry of implementation, mobilization, implementation, and transformation is the super ministry, more or less. So if you take, let's say, Kireen, the Honorable Kireen James, and you put her there, it's the same thing. You put Ron Redhead there, it's the same thing, right? Because it is the ministry that will show off the whole government. So ideal ministry. And mind you, Andy is that type of person to get the job done and so on. He's an action man. I know Andy way before the politics. Way before. And people who know this program will know that I knew the gentleman way before the politics. So I am saying it is the NNP's strategy to make you believe that only one person is performing. That is what they're trying to do. But they know it is a team that is performing. They know that our beloved Prime Minister, you have to repeat it because they normally get vexed, angry. The most honorable Deacon Mitchell, they normally get blue, angry. Those NNP, they're listening. Yeah, Anne-Marie, you're listening. I know, you're listening. And when I say this in such a profound way, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister, boy, that does hurt them. They just get angry. But stay there and take it. So I'm saying to you, that's their strategy. And because it is their strategy, I am exposing it so you can understand why Andy is out there more than the others. But it is a team effort. The team, they're working, because to implement, you need to make sure that all the work is done first. And that is exactly what is happening. All right? So I'm showcasing two pieces from MIT this morning, but I wanted to give you a understanding or share with you why he's been featured so much.
As part of Grenada's mission to embark on sustainable tourism and to establish ourselves as an authentic destination which values its culture and heritage, infrastructural rehabilitation continues at Fort George under the World Bank's OECS Regional Tourism Competitiveness Project. Fort George is an integral part of heritage tourism, and the government has identified it as a priority for restoration and rehabilitation. The scope of works for this project included total removal of all debris, damaged woodwork, furniture, and abandoned materials, the demolition of remnants of any recent concrete additions dating from the last century, particularly the remains of the 20th century extension of the upper floor covering the eastern ramparts, and cleaning and relaying of stone ground floor. At several points along the outer walls of the fort, there are areas where tree roots have invaded the structure, prizing the stones apart and destroying the stonework. These areas have been carefully debushed, the roots removed, and stonework replaced with new mortar, which comprises a mixture of powdered white lime mixed with fine aggregate and white cement to match the original historic mortar and bind with the original white lime of the fort. The ultimate aim of this project is to enhance the experience by restoring the damaged barracks and providing a tour route that will take visitors to all of the main features of the fort. At the same time, it will provide opportunities for employment and entertainment with the addition of an interpretation site, a coffee shop and cafe for relaxation, guided tours along the ramparts, and a courtyard for hosting cultural and creative activities for our local talents. We look forward to the completion of these works and the opportunity to share Grenada's history with locals and visitors alike.
After we put it in, we then get something like real hard, and we drive the mortar into the wall, and then we brush it out.
The government of Grenada remains committed to enhancing the livelihoods of all our people.
Right, so it's important that you understand what is taking place here. Fort George, this particular project was one that's supposed to have been completed long under the NNP. But the NNP failed to implement the project, to do the project. They talk, but they refuse to do it, to actually get it done since 2017. But Andy, the Honorable Andy Williams, I don't mind me calling him Andy, he's my boy. We cool, we tight, right? And the team, the NDC administration, decided we will get it done. And that is exactly what happened. So, the government bought that building on the Carnage, this old cable and wireless building, and they're upgrading it, modernizing it, so that it can house the police headquarters, right? RGPF headquarters. Very nice, ideal. And we also know that the police headquarters at the fort, that will be, moved and so on, because that particular project would cause that to happen. But the NNP had to do all of this years ago, since 2017, and they failed to do it. It's just like the project in Grande Tang, on the trails and so on, to change the, little bridges or wooden bridges that go through the trail and put the ropes and, make sure that the trail is safe for people. For years, the money there, grant funding and so on. But they NNP refused to do it. So it took the NDC to come in and get it done, to do it. And that is significant, very, very significant. Same thing with the water expansion project, the sewage and water expansion project. Yeah, the NNP refused to implement the project. Grant funding from the UK. We lost the money, and the NDC had to work overnight to get the money back so that the project could happen. So let me now feature that.
Selected residential areas will benefit from the upgrading of Grenada's water distribution and wastewater networks. This project has been made possible through a grant from the United Kingdom government under the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Fund (UKCIF), administered by the Caribbean Development Bank, which provides funding for climate resilient infrastructure projects to encourage growth and to support improved livelihoods, poverty reduction, and safer conditions for residents. This project will expand and upgrade Grenada's water distribution and wastewater networks while improving the sewage infrastructure in the capital city, St. George. It will enhance the quality and quantity of water resources available to residents and economic sectors. The upgraded water distribution and wastewater networks and improved sewage infrastructure will increase the efficiency and climate resilience of the water sector in Grenada and improve the availability of potable water and supplies for St. George's and tourism developments in the south of the island. Communities to benefit from this project include Concord, Happy Hill, Fontenoy, Brazan, Boussejou, Grand Mall, Belmont, and Caliste. The government of Grenada remains committed to enhancing the livelihoods of all our people.
All right, so again, that very good one there. So that particular project, remember, we lost that project. We lost that project, and the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team, they were able to get that project back because the NNP failed to implement. They failed to get it done. And that's the problem that existed then. They were not implementing the projects. So they would talk, make you believe that they're doing something, they're getting something done. But when you actually go and investigate, the project itself is not being implemented, or the money, the grant funding and so on, not utilized properly. So the NDC is actually getting it done, making it happen. And we must acknowledge that, because many of the funding and so on for these projects, they are grant funding. It's not money that you have to pay back. But the NNP, they refuse to make sure that the money is utilized. And it's the same thing with the COVID relief money that we got. The NNP refuse to spend the money on our people, to utilize the money. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. It took the NDC, when they came into government and they realized that the money was available and the money was there, and if you don't use it, you're going to go back to the source to start the CES. This CES grant came from that same genesis. The NNP refused to utilize the money. The NNP administration at the time refused to utilize the money, right, on the people. Money that was given for the purpose of helping our people after COVID-19 to bounce back to, to get back on our feet. They refuse. And when the NDC came into power, they say, no, we have to spend this money on our people. And they gave the grant, the $30,000, up to $30,000 to about 500 and so people to start their small, micro, small, medium size businesses to start off or to expand. And we have to face it, The NDC is different, totally different from the NNP. They're not just talking. They getting the job done. For example, this morning, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved Prime Minister, will be having he will be the main feature in a press conference this morning. So the government will be having a press conference from 9 a.m. this morning, and he will be the main person there speaking to the regularization of workers. The NNP vex, because why? They have been out there saying, well, the NDC promised to regularize workers, and they have not done so. But the NDC has 5 years as a term to fulfill their promises. But the NNP wants the NDC to do every single thing in the first year or the first 6 months or the first 2 years. They want them to do everything. But the NDC is governing for the entire 5 years. They are not holding back on all the projects and all the initiatives, all the everything for just close to the election. The NNP's modus operandi used to be when they come into power, they would grind the Grenadian people, suffer the Grenadian people, pressure the Grenadian people for the first 3-4 years. And then when they come into the fourth, between the fourth and the fifth year, meaning that they going towards the election, they would start spending and doing this and doing that. This is a different government. They are concerned about the people. They are concerned about our people and making sure that our people benefit consistently so. They're not waiting till the end. We are so accustomed to the NNP waiting to the end of their tenure or close to the election to do stuff because they understand if they do that, then the people will like them more, will vote for them. That is what they understand. Because Grenadians normally fall for this thing easily. They wait close to the election and they just trick the Grenadian people. Trick them into believing that, they're going to continue doing that. But it's a good political strategy, because Grenadians tend to fall for these things because they forget things easily. Our people tend to forget things easily. So what the NNP always stick or focus on is the fact that we have a short memory, and if you give or do things up front, Grenadians tend to forget. And that is why our job to educate and empower people is a very important one, Because if you educate and empower our people, they will remember. They will not forget that. And that is why NNP never focus heavily on education, on empowering our people. They never see that as important. Because if they did that, then our people would realize, but only around election time, they come in and do roads, drains, bridges, give us housing materials, do this and do that for us. And after the election, so when you vote for them after the election, nothing until 3, 4, 5 years, right? 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, and then they're back again, doing the same thing. So it was a cycle, but it was a good political strategy for a nation who they never prioritize education for. They never see education as important. But let's look at our 50th independence celebration and so on, and the kind of activities that they have planned.
October 19th, 2023 will be a national holiday and will continue as a permanent holiday on the country's calendar in recognition of the events that occurred on that day. This is one of the many planned activities being executed by government as the country prepares to celebrate its 50th anniversary of independence. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, speaking at a media briefing this week, also mentioned the establishment of Grenada's first ever National Heroes Park.
As part of the 50th anniversary celebrations as well, covering the entire year, the government intends to embark upon, with public support and consultation, the naming of our first national heroes as part of our 50th anniversary celebrations. And so we certainly will have names proposed, and we would invite feedback from the public. We are hoping that we can name a minimum of 3 and perhaps no more than 5 national heroes, because obviously being recognized as a national hero is the highest award or honor that any nation can bestow upon its citizens. And so we are looking forward to that happening. We also anticipate, and at a further briefing we will indicate once we are able to successfully do so, We also anticipate being able to acquire lands that we can dedicate to creating a national heroes park, where those persons who are in fact named as national heroes, where some bus or other memorabilia of them can be erected at the national park. And this is a venture that we are quite excited about. We hope that by the time we get to the official launch of our 50th anniversary celebrations commencement, that we would be in a position to provide further details to members of the public on this initiative.
The official launch is carded for October 19th, which starts the pre-independence phase of events. This phase will continue until February 9th, 2024.
Within that phase, we have planned out 21 national events. Those are events that will be executed by the state. And we also have events that we will endorse from the private sector. There are a lot of persons who have reached out to the Secretariat wanting to do events around independence, and we are evaluating those events, and we will then endorse some of these events as additional events for the public to participate in. The official pre-independence celebrations will start in October 19th and will end on February 9th, 2024. All right. We've also curated a special list of events from January 28th, 2024 to February 9th, 2024. That would allow not just Grenadians but persons in the diaspora to ensure that they can come back and participate in that block of events. So it's going to be about 10 days of intense events and activities and celebrations that the diaspora will be able to participate in. And any foreign person who wants to come in to participate in our independence can do so. We will make that full list of events available so persons can begin their pre-planning and booking for the event. We expect to see a lot of persons on island, and we expect for it to be events that are well attended and well executed. The events will span from sporting events to festive events to cultural events to academic/conference type events. We have a plethora of different activities to ensure that we cover all aspects of our 50 years of independence, our history, our people, and absolutely our future.
That was Ambassador for the Creative Economy, Orlando Romain, member of the National Organizing Committee. Post-independence celebrations will start in March 2024 and end in January 2025. This phase will feature parish events where each month a different parish will have the opportunity to organize various activities and displays in keeping with the theme, the 50th anniversary observance. Romain also highlighted other events that citizens can enjoy.
We also will see the installation of several sites of memories across the island, which is quite important for us to really document and iconize our history and our people. So you will see the installation of monuments and statues, the renaming of streets, and several other activities that will really help define Grenada in this modern time.
Yes, indeed. So again, folks, I want to encourage you to participate, to be involved in all the events and activities, all of them. Don't matter what the NDC does, what the government does, the NNP will have a problem with it. But we just got to do it and ignore them. They will talk for 7 days, 5 days, and then that will die. It will die out. So I want to encourage you, the folks in the diaspora, the folks here at home, let us make sure that this particular 50th is a grand one. Remember, the old cock really wanted to be prime minister for the 50th anniversary of our independence. In fact, they were planning everything for that particular moment, but they did not get it. He did not get it, and his team did not get it. So we have to make sure that it's a grand one, that it's a successful one, and we must ignore the noise. Because when the 19th of October comes and goes, you hear no talk about the 19th being the commencement of this whole observance of this great occasion or 50th anniversary of independence. So ignore them. The NNP, they beating up about the 19th, and some people who don't understand. Because English language is simpler. They are not using the 19th as some day to, jump and wave. No, 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 no. It is just the start off, because you may not like it, but it's our history. You may not like it, but it is our history. And as we celebrate our independence, we need to understand that there were good times in our history and bad times. There were rosy moments and there were really rocky moments in our history. So some people want to forget it. They want to play as though, but we go start the process of healing, the process of observing, remembering from the 19th of October all the way to February the 8th, the 9th, the 10th day, because we must always celebrate our independence, not just on the day, but throughout. So those who have a problem with the commencement, the 19th being a public holiday, and the start of this whole observance of Grenadianism, right? Being Grenadian and what occurred throughout the 50 years or more. Well, on the 19th, if you don't like the holiday, go to work. Dress and go to work. You're a teacher and you don't like it, dress and go to the school. No students, but go there. Go to the school as though there's work. You work in the ministry, you don't like it, you don't go to work on the 19th. Dress and go to work. It's simple. If you don't want to observe it and see it as a holiday, well, then go to work on the day. Dress and go to work as normal. Some people might say you're getting crazy, but go to work. If you have a problem with it, there are a lot of people who glad for it to be with their family and friends and to. So if you don't want to observe it on that day, go to work. Dress and go to work. Yeah, that's what you have to do, You have a problem, the NNP and them, you have a problem with the holiday, dress up as though you're going to school, as though you're going to work, and go and stay in the ministry there. What they need to do is to cut off the light, cut off the AC, and go. You work with a fan, go with a fan. Go there and go and work. It's simple. Some of us in this country, we complain about every damn thing. And what you have to complain about, you're not complaining about, Everything you complain about, you get a holiday. Well, spend some time with your family, Spend some time with your friends and so on. Do some stuff now. You understand the point? So I'm simply saying those NNP and them who beating the chest like King Kong, and you're vexed, you're angry, go to work on the day. All right? We're going to enjoy the holiday. We're going to observe it. We're going to, simple. And talk done. Because after the 19th, you will hear nothing about all this thing, When the 19th comes around again, remember, it will not be the 58th. It will be 51 years. Right? That's where we will be heading. So it will be a different everything. So let them talk. They talk. That's temporary. After, when the 28th comes of October, all talk done. They stop talking about all of this thing. The NNP, they hopping on everything. Every living thing they're hopping on. But I'm saying to you, this government is moving forward. This government is transforming Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. They're doing things. Yeah, they're getting the job done. But the NNP, they have problems. And they have to deal with it. In fact, yesterday, they mobilized, they organized their people to come to the parliament. And that's good. That's healthy for democracy. Some of them, they bitter, they angry. They said, no, that's a good thing. Let them be there. Let them come and be a part, because they would only be there because they get a free bus or they pay for them to go there. They would not voluntarily go there. So those NNP supporters, they will never go to the parliament voluntarily. Like, say, boy, today, I want to go to the parliament and listen to the debate and so they would never do that. They go there because they get free bus and free food. Simple. So, but it's a good thing that they were there and that they're going there, right? And let's encourage that. Let's say to the NNP, do the same thing next time, next parliament sitting. Do the same thing. It's good for democracy. It's healthy for democracy. Nothing is wrong with that. But I want to say to the folks in the diaspora, I want to encourage you when you come back for funerals, when you come back to your homeland for vacation, when you come back to your homeland to visit friends, to do stuff for events and so on, please, I want you to register. I want you to register to vote. Do you know we have 20 times the amount of people that's living in Grenada, living in the diaspora, in New York, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, throughout the Caribbean, and in Europe and so on. So I want to encourage you, when you come back to Grenada, only yesterday I went out with some friends, right? They got registered. I went out and I had dinner with them yesterday. It was a wonderful time. Wonderful time. They came to Grenada. They wanted to get registered. They got registered. And that is what I want to see. I want to see our brothers and sisters in the diaspora participate in our election. Right? But you have to come. You have to be here. I want you to register. Once you come to Grenada, register. And let me help you to ensure that you get registered. I mean, a lot of people have been calling me. And I'm really, really happy. A lot of people have been calling me to register. That's a great thing. I want to encourage you. Once you come back to your homeland, please register and vote when the time comes. When I call on you to come back home to vote, I want you to do so. So please, I urge you, there are folks who reached out to me saying, look, they got registered, but the election was called at a particular time, so they had to leave before they were out of the country, but they're already registered. Plenty of people calling me and see that, which is great. But the election to come will be the one to send the old cock into full retirement and to see no more of Peter David and all those, you understand the point? So the first election, that one at Gonde, is not really the biggie in all of them. Huh? The real McCoy, the real election, the real test is the one coming. And I am not going to wait for it to come. I am already organizing for it. And it will dictate, it will demand. Right, I realize a friend calling me, I wonder. Right, so I know my good friend there, she's buzzing. Maybe she's telling me she's coming soon, right? So let me put her on, right? So let me get on. Right, it seems as though she's gone. Maybe a good friend from overseas saying, hey, Kem, I will be coming soon. Right, so if you're coming soon, let me. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Kem.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, I'm coming to register. Get the old cock all the way.
Right, so when you come in? Soon?
I'm coming in February.
Oh, beautiful. Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Sure, you will.
All right, good.
Okay.
Yes, we have to make sure that happens. All right? So when you come to Grenada, please, I urge you, register. Because the next election will be determined by your vote. If you don't understand, there are a lot of people here in Grenada, they don't understand the politics. I understand this thing to a T. The next election will be determined by you, the folks in the diaspora. Mind you, Our people here will vote. Our Grenadian brothers and sisters will vote. But to get us over the line in most of the constituencies, it will be up to you. So I want to urge you, and a lot of you have been reaching out to me, connecting with me, telling me you're coming and so on. I want to say to you, I urge you, when you come to Grenada, and I will organize, I will make sure you get your birth certificates. I will make sure that you get transport to go and get registered. I will do that. I've done that only recently too. So hear this. Once you come here to Grenada, you could come for a week, funeral, vacation, event, party, whatever. Once you come to Grenada between now and the election, I will be calling on you over and over again to register. Register to vote. And I will make sure it happens, right? Once you like this government, you like this team, you support what is happening here, please, I urge you. If you don't support what's happening here in Grenada and so on, I don't want you to get registered. You could stay out. You could forget that. But I'm urging you, once you support what's happening here, you have to get registered. But here it is. The next event will be the weekend before the independence celebration, right? So the next event that I am having, because all these little events and so on, they can't generate the kind of resources to get the job done, right? It will be just kind of waste of resources, really. So I'm saying the next major event, the next major fundraiser for the radio station, because remember, we are striving to get to the point where we can get the resources, the finance to cover the radio station. Remember, the first event generated $63,200 profit. But the next major event, the next event will be on the weekend of independence. I am working to have it on the Sunday because most people will be in by then. Remember, independence will be on February the 7th. I think that's on the Wednesday. That's on a Wednesday, I think so. Let me look and see. Let me make sure. I think it's on the Wednesday. All right. Yes. February the 7th. It's a Wednesday. So most people will be back home for independence. And those who are here in Grenada will be part and parcel of every event. All right. So there are a series of events planned for our 50th. So I am also planning for that major event as you come back home for that. So it will be on the weekend of independence. I'm trying to either have it on the Saturday before the independence or the Sunday. One of those days. You know, it will be a homecoming dinner gala kind of setting where you have, you know, live bands, not just band, but bands performing, and, you know, people doing other stuff, stand-up poetry, saxophone stuff, and just name it. It will be an evening that you will remember. And the tickets will be available very soon. Once everything is finalized, the tickets will be available. And the tickets will be very reasonable this time around, because I hope to have at that event just about 1,000 or so people at that event. All right, so the tickets will be reasonable, maybe about $150 to $200, between that range, easy money. So the tickets will be pretty reasonable. So I hope to have as many people as possible at that event. All right. So again, saying to you, it will be on the weekend before the independence celebration. The independence celebration will be on the Wednesday, but the event will be on the weekend off. So I will let you know when tickets are available. It might be October, November, but tickets will be available way before. So you can purchase the tickets online and in person. But the tickets will be reasonable. But it will be a very nice event. where you could put on your nice dandan and come out and feel good, right? We go have a lot of food, and food is minor. Plenty food. Food. Drinks and so on. But that event will be an event not to miss. The 50th, it will be a grand event. All right? So again, I'm saying to you, it will be a reasonable one in terms of cost, between $150 to $200. Easy money, huh? Easy cash, easy. Not US and so on, easy. But, online, it will be the conversion rate of the US. So just saying to you, once you're coming, right? Once you're coming for our 50th, and a lot of people will be back home. This is a big thing. This is a grand event. So those in the diaspora and those here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, you have to come to my event. This event will be big, huge. So again, I'm saying to you, it is important that you be there. A good friend saying, hey, Cam Jones, my buddy will be good. We go celebrate. Nice. Looking forward to that. Sonia, looking forward to that. So I'm saying again, it is important that you register when you come. It is my duty to make sure that you get registered to vote. So once you're here, you have to get registered. And you have to let me know. All right? If you need help to get registered, I will make sure that happens. But you're also coming for the 50th celebration of independence, and you're coming to my event. All right? That's important. Make it a date and don't be late. Right? This event is important because we're striving to get to the point where we have the cash for the purchasing of all what is required for that registration. Remember that? It's a project. 3, instead of all the small events, we're not going to generate anything much there. The 3 major events. The first one gone, independence, and then the next one, May, June, carnival time, same thing, right? Bigger and better. And then after that, we can then say, we have it. We will commence the process. In fact, we have started the process already in procuring some of the equipment. Huh? Some of the stuff that would not need us to say, well, I ain't want this one because it's updated. I hope you understand. For example, I had a huge console here, huge, inside the studio. But after a year or 2, 3 years, come on, the consoles are small, they are smarter. For example, I had a landline phone with cable thing going all around the place, like connecting to this, the old console. Right now, if you call me, for example, my friend called me a while ago on my cell phone, and I just connected her from my cell phone to the console and through the system. Easy, like 1 to 3. On Bluetooth, easy, right? So I'm saying to you, it doesn't make sense you go in and buy, for my end, buy stuff that will become somewhat, stale, old, outdated. The technology is always moving. So it's better to purchase some of the stuff very close to. It's important. So you have to understand, right? And that is why there are some stuff like the mics and so on, they will always be here with us. Some of the stuff that is standard. So I'm getting those stuff in the meanwhile. That's kind of standard. But the real McCoy, the real thing, the transmitters, the processors, the console, the cable for all the, just name it. These things will require you purchasing it close to, because there are things that are modernizing every day. All right. So we're working on that. So I'm simply saying to you, I want you to be a part of this, the next event, the next major event. I'm looking forward to having you and welcome. I want to see you with your nice dandan. I want to see you shining. You understand the point? Yeah, that particular event is one for class, one for elegance, one for style, one for vibes. You understand the point? It's very important. Very, very important. So I'm saying to you, this event, it will be a kind of Indo event, right? It's not an outdoor event. Indo. Well, everything. You know, when I do things like a boss. So I'm saying to you, I don't want you to miss it. So all now, order your nice dan, your nice, your nice, very important. So I look forward to having you there. But remember, when you come, registration is key. And if you need help to get registered, I will make sure that happens. That's important. All right? So, folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning. I want to wish you all the best. I will be back with you tonight in the hub. Last evening I went out with some friends, some overseas and so on. In fact, they're traveling today. They're going back today. So I wish them safe travels. That's how I do it. It's so important. A number of them, they got registered and so on. And they're my friends. They're friends of the program. So Lacey, next on my agenda, registration rights. So Lacey, Jeffrey, when you come through, yes, Kim, registration right. All right, good. Nice. So folks, take good care. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now. And I'll be back with you tonight